Bel Vue is indeed a group of persons that like to organize meetups. It kind of all started in 2019, I think, when we went to Vue Amsterdam. We were like, we need this in Belgium too. The cool thing about the networking part as well. It was at a awesome venue in a football stadium, but at that night there was also a football match, so that really went crazy.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Coffee with Developers. Today we are here with Sybren Willemont. He is located in Antwerp province in Belgium. He's a front-end developer at Euricom. He's a core team member of Chakra UI Vue and a co-organizer of Bel Vue. We will see in a second what that is. Welcome, Sybren.
Hey, thanks for having me, Marc. Awesome to be here.
How are things going, Sybren? Everything good?
Everything good, everything busy. Yeah, enjoying life so far.
Okay, awesome. So the first point in your bio is Euricom. Can you tell us something like what you're currently working at?
So yeah, I work for Euricom. We're more like a consultancy company. So most of the developers, like I think all of them, are placed at clients, and they do all different projects there. My focus is is indeed on like front end development, mainly on Vue.js. And
Nice.
yeah, I'm really happy that I can. I'm now like for almost 2 years professionally working with Vue.js. It's a real difference than do it on your own time. And well, so the client I work for, the project there that I'm doing is I'm part of the team that builds a design system there, and that design system is used in most of the projects, the other projects at that client. So it's really cool to see components that you build and stuff getting reused. And besides that, I think also one of the things that Euricom also puts value into is like the community thing. Like they support the public speaking, etc.
Nice.
Yeah, that's real cool.
Yeah, so you said now about the design system you're doing for these clients. We come back to that later because you're also working with that on open source.
Yeah.
But let's first get into the what I mentioned, the Bel Vue Meetup. So it's Bel Vue. Can you tell us first a little bit what it is, and then maybe how it all started?
All right. Yeah. So, well, Bel Vue is indeed a group of persons that like to organize meetups, like Vue-related meetups. And for now, we are really focusing on Belgium, mostly on the Flemish part of Belgium. And what we do is, we organize Vue-related meetups. We try to have the most awesome speakers there. And these are after work things, like you can go to after work. We have pizza, fries, or something, and then a few talks.
So I have been a member of Bel Vue as well, or co-organizer of Bel Vue since last year, but I don't actually know the story, how it all started. So you are one of the founders as well, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit how it all got started? How did you, with the other co-organizers or co-founders in that sense, how did all start? So,
it kind of all started in 2019, I think, when we went to Vue Amsterdam. The first time we went there with a few colleagues, and when we were there, we were amazed. Like the venue, the speakers, the whole thing, and we were like, we need this in Belgium too. Of course, this was like way too high for us.
Yeah.
But then we were looking at the conference if there were like on meetup.com or something. If there were already meetup groups that are Vue related in Belgium, and we noticed that there was, I think, one, but I wasn't very active. So we were like, let's try this. So we with a few colleagues, like Wim, Lars, Wouter, Nane, and me. I think that's the original group that started the whole thing. We started with yeah, with the ID. And the focus then was just Antwerp, so like province Antwerp. And we started under the name Vue Antwerp. We had I think 1 or 2 meetups, and it went really great. It was real fun, and like for one of the meetups right before, Nana, she found um that, like, how do you say it, like, yeah, she found a tweet from Gusto online, and he was doing a Vue tour, let's say, where he was going around Europe mainly, and to talk about, yeah, the community of Vue.js and stuff. And I got in contact with him, and I invited him over, and we had yeah, an amazing time. Like, he came to one of the meetups, he gave a talk there, we spent some time networking. Him and one thing led to another, like, because he was well, like, involved in the community. The year after that, like, I think it was 2020, Vue Amsterdam 2020. I don't know if that's possible. I'm like thinking now, because
Yeah.
2020 was like
Yeah. It was the last
the
one before
last
the
one.
pandemic.
Last.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
In
So
February.
that one, he was also like organizing a Vue community day at Vue Amsterdam. I don't know if
Oh,
you were
nice.
there.
I
It's
was
like on
there,
the.
but I didn't see anything about that. Might have.
Mm,
Anyway, it was my first Vue.js Amsterdam.
mm. Yeah,
Uh, Being as an attendee, so everything was overwhelming. So too much information, too much of everything.
yeah, yeah. It was like the first day, like the Wednesday, and it was a more special event, because it was not in the venue of Vue Amsterdam. It was in a different location, like in the headquarters of Passionate People, if I remember correctly.
Ah, yeah.
And it was mainly for the people that were involved in the Vue.js community, like, yeah, organizers of meetups, of conferences, library maintainers, the core team, etc. And then we yeah, went to that location just to network, like, also have like panel chats and stuff. It was really cool. And then I met like some people, like I mainly met with Charles, etc. um and from there was also another ID that was created. I know it's going to be a pretty long story, so bear with me. um an other idea was created, and it was like worldview. And
Mhm.
worldview, the idea was to have a meetup group that was like globally. um
Mhm.
so if I can remember correctly, because then we were not thinking about the pandemic yet, was that we would pick a date, and then we would like have each meetup group locally organize a meetup, but we would follow like online, the whole meetup around the world. So it was like
Nice.
a crazy idea, to be honest, but super cool. So it was a little bit like a hybrid global meetup
Yeah.
idea. And then of course pandemic hit, so we went for the online only um,
Mhm.
part. And I think we had a few meetups with cool speakers from all over the world. It was with Maria Lamardo was one of the other core organizers, etc.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, and that's how I met all those people. It was really cool, and I got more and more involved in the community. Um, and then, yeah, this also reflected towards Vue Antwerp at that point, um, because it was easier to find speakers, and uh, and then we had the idea, it's going well, it's going all right. We get like attendees, like 10 to 20 people coming to our meetups, and people were like, yeah, why you're only doing it in Antwerp? Because there was also people interested in Vue in the
Mhm.
other parts of Belgium, of course. Um, and then we had the idea, yeah, why not try to go bigger? Um, and then we switched and rebranded to Bellevue. And Nana, she designed the logo. It was really cool, with the Atomium
Yeah.
and the Vue logo in there. And then we, yeah, got a few more meetups, and then Marc turned up asking how it all's going, and yeah, now we're here, I think.
Nice. Well, that's a pretty interesting story. So you organize these meetups, and as an attendee, it's just like you get a notification there's a meetup, you go there, and then you go home. But what is behind organizing something like this? It's not just like, oh, let's do a meetup and let's meet there, and then that's it. What's behind a meetup like this?
I think it all starts with getting the organizers together to picking a day, because that's important, because you want a day that is available for most of the organizers,
Mhm.
because yeah, you want everyone involved because there are many tasks to do. And mainly that's like a date in like 2 months. Yeah, in 2 months or something, 2 or 3 months, let's say. And then yeah, you start with looking for speakers, of course. I think we mainly aim for 2 or 3 speakers at an evening.
Mhm.
We tried before with 4 or 5 speakers,
Mm.
but then we kind of understood that like at the end it gets like 10 o'clock in the evening,
Yeah,
and that really gets late for yeah on a
yeah,
work day,
especially if
because
it's after work, right?
yeah,
It's
the
too long.
the most of our meetups are like on Thursday, so you still have the Friday to
Oh,
work.
yeah.
Um, so we scaled it down a little, but I think that was a good idea, because we, uh, yeah, the value that we bring is better now, I think. Because there's also more space to just like network and just chat after the meetups. Because we noticed that people, yeah, if it's like 10 o'clock in the evening and that's the last talk, yeah, they go home straight after it. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I think the networking part of a meetup or even like a conference is the most interesting run, right? Because you get to
Yeah.
talk from with people from everywhere and with all different kinds of opinions about stuff. So you get into talking and ideas just spark
Mhm.
out of nothing, right? That's
Yeah.
actually, I think actually where I was last year at the was it last year? Yes, last year at the last meetup we had there, where I also gave a talk. I think there it came the idea to me for the talk that I gave now in Vue.js Amsterdam. I even told someone of the attendees, "Oh, I think it would be a good idea to come up with like the virtual DOM talk after this reactivity talk." So it's sort of it's a continuation of that talk. So yeah, that's how ideas are created and like
Yeah.
with networking, right? So it's not all about the talks.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Indeed. Indeed.
yeah,
And it's also a good opportunity to meet like people, like interesting people, cool people. Um, just one of the things that I think like last year time in Ghent, where we had you as a speaker. Yeah, of course we met a little bit more, so it was easier in Amsterdam to like to say, "Hey, Mark, how you doing?" But
yeah.
also I also remember like meeting Elian. He also
Ah,
gave a
yeah,
talk
yeah,
at
yeah,
Jazz World, but he was there as an attendee at our last
yeah.
yeah Bel Vue Meetup, and I was talking with him, and I was super chill to like yeah meet interesting people like him, and see how they grow and how they yeah what they're doing. And we can like help each other, you know, and that's a cool thing about the networking part as well.
Yes, exactly. All right, and you talked now a little bit about what goes into organizing a meetup, and but what's the most challenging part? Is it finding speakers? Is it finding a venue? Is it finding a date? Maybe. What's the most challenging part?
What's the most challenging part? I think is because, for example, finding speakers, it's challenging because not everyone wants to speak, especially in the beginning. It was really
Mhm.
yeah hard. It was tougher to find people that wanted to speak, and most of the time, it's one of the organizers that also give a talk there. Um, but I think that was a good way to start. And finding a venue, don't think that's what is really an issue, thanks to the companies that most of us work for. For example, Euricom, they have like places available. and have connections to other companies with also places available. So we finding a venue is not really an issue. But for me personally, one is time management. Indeed, finding the date and finding a day that fits for everyone. Spending time to like organize it, because it's, yeah, everyone does it in his free time. Um, and then also like the time management of everyone that wants to commit and commits, like the difference there. um because sometimes everyone is like super into it and like, yeah, well, let's do it. And then 2 weeks before, someone, yeah, is too busy with his personal life, and then you have to take over, or someone else have to take over that part and that stuff. um so that's that. I think time management is one of the biggest things. And another thing that I find very difficult was, like the one in Ghent. I took most of the responsibility to organize that one, because I was in connection with the people from the venue, like, or with you, Mark, to get you all the way from Luxembourg to Belgium, and get the hotel and that stuff. But the other thing was that, it was at a awesome venue in a football stadium.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember.
but at that night there was also a football match, so that really went crazy. um Especially for like, okay, how are we going to do this, how are our attendees getting here, like parking, etc. Because there were like, I think, thousands of people there for the football game. So yeah, it was really like stressy. Like, yeah, I felt the responsibility for the attendees, and to get them there, all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we were driving to the hotel together, right? And we saw like the whole bunch of like football fans chanting and walking on the streets, police stopping the cars and stuff.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, yes, we didn't consider this. But I mean, it turned out great. I think the turn up was good. People were
Yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
That's what matters, right?
Yeah. In the end, it was a really good one. Yeah.
All right, and you. So I think enough about the meetup thing. Something else I want to talk to you about is the Chakra UI Vue. So you are core team member there. Can you tell
Yeah.
us a little bit what is actually Chakra UI and Chakra UI Vue?
Yeah. So as you said correctly, we have Chakra UI and we have Chakra UI Vue. So what is the thing? It is a design system implementation that allows you to build design systems or applications with speed. But as we have Chakra UI, and this is mainly, it's like a mothership, and it's mainly like focused on React. And then one day we have Jonathan, who was really inspired by this, and he got in talks, and he created a Vue variant of this. So we
Nice.
have Chakra UI Vue, which is, yeah, focused on, yeah, the Vue nation, um and yeah, it started as a component library where, the idea was to bring developers and designer closer together, thanks to the whole theming API. But now it's really like a chakra verse. There's so much going on, so many things that we're trying to solve, that we are solving, behind the scene with the whole team. Um, and it's also like getting more framework agnostic. It's not only just React and Vue anymore. Um,
Yeah.
we're looking into expanding, like, making
Nice.
framework agnostic. Yeah,
I love that term, Chakraverse.
Chakraverse. Yeah.
Chakraverse is nice. And how did you come up? How did you end up becoming a core team member there? How did that happen?
Well, remember that I was talking about Worldview, the meetup,
Yeah.
the global meetup. Well, at one of those meetups, at one of those summits, Jonathan was speaking there, and he was talking about Chakra UI Vue. And I was really amazed about it. And I thought, like, I have to try this. So I went on and try it out. And then I think I just tweeted about it. When, hey, I created this. Looks pretty real cool. And Jonathan kind of he like reacted, commented on it, and we got like a little bit of talking, and I was trying out a few more things like Chakra UI Vue with Nuxt and stuff, and I found the docs not completely complete enough. So I added a few things there and changed a few things, and that's how I got more and more involved in the Chakra UI. First, let's say, and more involved there, and was like more active on the Discord, and wrote a few things about it. And one thing led to another, one day Jonathan messaged me from like, yeah, now Vue 2 is going to Vue 3. Of course, we need to like have Chakra UI Vue migrated to Vue 3. And the idea was to write it from scratch. So we had all the TypeScript stuff and everything, and he was like, yeah, I am not going to be able to do this on my own, because most of the Chakra UI Vue part he did on his own. I had help from a few cool people, but he was like the core maintainer of it. And he was like, I could use help. And to be honest, I was like, I don't know if I can help. I don't know TypeScript at that time. I learned TypeScript thanks to Chakra, and that stuff. It felt overwhelming, but it was super chill. It was super cool about it, and it was like, yeah, we can start low. Also need help with docs, and that's how I get rolled into it. And then amazing things happened. I met the whole Chakra team. Just all super awesome people from all over the world. We also had in real life meetup in Dubai and stuff.
Nice.
And that's how it rolled, and we expanded the team, and I think we are now with 5 people of the Chakra UI Vue team. And they all rolled in exactly the same, just like helping out in the Discord, trying to open a pull request or solving an issue, and more. And then we were like, hey, you're doing so much. Want to join the core team and get more involved, or want to join as a core contributor, And yeah.
That's awesome. So before I let you go, before we started recording, you told me that you are a passionate traveler. Your hobby is traveling.
Yeah.
What is your favorite traveling spot you've been so far? And do you have any plans in the next future to travel somewhere?
It's a really hard question about what's my favorite spot. And mainly I travel with my wife mainly. And we love doing this on with us too. Because there's so many. Every trip has its own experience. The travel experience to Dubai was amazing, mostly because of meeting the Chakra UI team. I also I went with my wife there. And that stuff. But I think, especially for just like the traveling part, we kind of fell in love with the US. Uh, um, like we did it like a few times now, exploring every part of it. Our honeymoon was like in Florida and California,
Nice.
so I really enjoy it there. There's so many different aspects. Every part is different. Every part has its own thing. It's really cool. And yeah, we have new plans, and that is also indeed go there. Once again, to go to the more central part. I don't know if it's really central, but like we start in Nashville and then Memphis. The whole country
Nice.
part of it. It's gonna be real cool. Looking forward for that.
Nice. You go see the birthplace of Elvis.
Yeah. I think that's
Graceland.
that's on the agenda to stop in Graceland. Yeah.
Nice. All right. So thanks a lot, Sybren, for all your insights. And thanks to the audience, everyone that watched and listened. Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the next episode. Bye bye.
Right. Thank you. Bye bye.